Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check, brought to you by BB. There is no second best live YouTube stream to talk about markets. Obviously, now we are live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but nevertheless, no shortage of alpha coming to you guys throughout the week. And what a week it has been. ETH is almost back at 4K. Obviously, we're seeing a little bit of a lower time frame pullback here this morning. Will that continue? That's something that we'll discuss later on today's show, as well as what that means for pretty much every other asset in the market. But welcome, guys. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. I'm joined by Louis and, of course, Prometheus. Chef Jackus will be joining us here in just a bit. It really has been just an insane week, from ETH pumping almost all the way up to 3,700 to Litecoin treasuries being launched. We went from like 0 to 100 almost from Monday to Friday, where there was no froth in alts. Maybe there's a little bit now. I definitely want to talk about Bitcoin dominance on today's show, and the likelihood that continues to come down. And that we see more rotation into altcoins. But before we can do that, guys, before we can talk about your altcoins, about about these pullbacks that we're seeing on a lower time frame, I'm going to ask if you guys can hit the like button, smash the like button, destroy the like button, right? It's Friday after all, and the market has been green all week. If we can't smash the like button into the end of this week, then I'll be honest, I really don't know when we can. unless we're just literally going up 100% a day, and you guys would probably hit the like button. Maybe if that was happening, you guys. Either way, we're always appreciative when you do, and you help us continue to grow our channel as well, and so that we can keep bringing you this awesome content on Market Check. But let's talk a little bit more about the market. Obviously, like I said, ETH is pulling back a bit on a lower time frame. Not a complete surprise. You know, if you've been ignoring Bitcoin structure this week, maybe it is a total surprise to you, but Bitcoin gave us a high volume high per se, and then a huge, almost kind of a lower time frame structure breaking pullback. Not really, but we're seeing, you know, that structure play out, I think, more meaningfully across the board now that Bitcoin probably bearish retested some of that structure from earlier in the week. This morning, it's rejecting. Will we come down, make a lower low? Will we just, maybe stop here, form a higher low? I guess we'll see. I kind of feel like it makes sense that we're going to take that 116K level on BTC. ETH might come down a bit more. I think Jackus has been talking about the yearly open. And I kind of feel like after that's completed, we're going to see altcoins really get a bit more run, because Bitcoin dominance doesn't really look like it's about to recover back to the highs. I have to say, Bitcoin dominance looks firmly like a top has been put in, at least locally speaking, and that we're going to see that momentum continue in the same way that it has continued for Sol ETH. I think that was something that we mentioned on Wednesday, the possibility of Bitcoin dominance replicating a structure very similar to what we've seen from Sol ETH. So I think the regime changed over to ETH doesn't just stop with ETH USD price appreciation. It continues through things like DeFi, through things like ETH beta. And I'm interested to see how that trades really here over the next few weeks, the next few months. How are we doing, guys? What do we think about the week that has been? What do we think about this lower time frame pullback to prices not seen since Asia session last night? And it's really more a pullback for alts, I think. How are we feeling about the market? Not just today, but also this week. It's been quite a chaotic week, to say the least.
Feeling very good, actually. The market is looking insanely well. Obviously, it's been getting a little bit overextended, something that I was discussing privately here, actually, earlier and yesterday about these levels. But nothing goes up in a straight line. The same thing, nothing goes down in a straight line. So it makes sense for the market to make the fluctuations. Generally, we have to keep in mind that at the beginning of this week, on ETH, we were trading at 2.9K, and today we were at 3.6. So, I mean, that's amazing. So, yeah, I think this bull market is going to last for a long time, and we have finally entered the times we all wished for.
Need that meme. Used to pray for times like this.
Literally, though. I remember we were down here. How quickly things can change, I remember us on market talk. What's the name of the show? Market check.
What's
the name of the show I'm on?
I haven't been sleeping, if you couldn't tell. I forgot to sleep in the bear market by accident. Now I cannot sleep during the bull market, obviously. So maybe next year, or maybe in the next life. I don't know. Little mind fart there, a little mind blank. But yeah, I remember we were trading down here on ETH in April, and literally every single one of us on the panel were saying, this is it. Like, ETH needs to bounce here, but you can't give up on it just yet. And many were. I mean, we've made some great progress, some great progress. I think the ETH weekly candle says it all. I mean, that's a meat stick, guys. That this is just a beautiful weekly meat stick. Last week, another, also a beautiful up meat stick here, cutting through the mid range like butter. Boom, right through it. But we have to be aware. We are at a major resistance. Right, we're at a major resistance. This is a downtrend that's pretty much capped us on price for 4 years. Right, this is the 2021 all-time high, and this downtrend has been pretty much capping us for the last 4 years. I do think we break through. Right, I do think we break through, but ETH's been going up in a straight line pretty much for the past week. Alt are starting to catch up. Bitcoin is in consolidation mode. Wouldn't be surprised if we got some local sort of pullback or shakeout here on ETH and altcoins. But overall, high time frame, these pullbacks, these shakeouts should not affect your long-term view. And I'm talking 3, 6, 9 months down the road. Pullbacks are part of the game, right? But the weekly candlestick thus far, I mean, we have another 2.5 days left. So obviously want to see this close strong, which I think it will. But it makes sense to see some possible resistance here, right? But, if we do finally get above this falling trend line that's been capping us for 4 years, next stop, range highs, where again, 1, 2, 3 taps at range highs already in the last 2 years. We come up here for a 4th time, you're not going to reject and come all the way back down, because I guarantee you once we're up here, people will be calling for that, right? People will be calling for that. But, the old saying about resistance, right? The more times a resistance gets, touched, the more likely it is to break. So 4th tap, if and when we break this down, this downtrend, 4th tap on range highs here, we should be gearing up for expansion into price discovery. How it looks, no idea. I don't have a crystal ball. We could see something like Bitcoin did, right? What did Bitcoin just do? Made it all ripped all the way back to all-time highs off the lows in just a month or so. But then we did see, a 5 to 6 week consolidation at the old all-time high, right? Before finally going to where it is now. So, we could see something like that, right? We could see something like that. We don't really know. We could just flip it and go, I mean, when ETH gets going, it goes, right? But just be aware, careful on the leverage. If you are trading leverage or you are just getting positioned now, be aware.
They already got liquidated. What? They probably already got liquidated. If they ate the resistance this morning, they're probably having a rough day.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why you got to, it's either you're early or you're late in crypto. But people don't like to buy when things are down. They only like to buy when things are going up for some reason. But weekly says it all. ETH is so strong, guys. And this is setting up for a, if and when we break this will be a multi-year price compression breakout. Not gonna end in a couple weeks. This will take 3, 6, 9 months, maybe even a year to play out, being capped and being compressed for this long. It's kind of like a ball underwater, right? Or, something like that, where we've been capped, we've been compressed for so long, coming up to do the real thing. Once this thing lets go and starts to fly, which these are the 2 levels that we talked about that you got to beat, this thing's going to fly. This thing is going to fly, but obviously high time frame, super, super bullish on ETH and altcoins.
Let me add context to what you just said, Louis. XRP had its accumulation and price compression range for 7 to 8 months and added $100 billion in market cap in 2 weeks. What do you think ETH is going to do from a 4-year price compression?
Exactly. And very similarly, if you want to even go deeper here, because I feel like we have to talk about XRP after the move yesterday.
We got to talk about some of these dinos, man.
Yeah.
Doge, Litecoin, XRP.
Yeah. Very similar to ETH, right? Very similar to ETH, except this, when we broke from the lows back last year, right? This was a 6-year price compression, right? Like, this was crazy. Like this, and that's why I was so pounding the table on XRP back here, because I was looking at, the high time frame. Like, this was a 6-year long compression. You see what happens when you break these compressions. It's not just gonna dribble up and then roll over. No, you get big moves off the lows. I think this was like a 600-700% pump in just a couple weeks. Yeah, you get your consolidation. You don't give back the gains, right? You hold on to a lot of it. And again, talking about XRP a bunch, right? This was holding on to its gains. Every other token in the market did, not every token, but a lot of tokens that did go up came all the way back down at a minimum to around here, right? XRP holding on to its gains, not giving back, these pumps. And again, 7-month consolidation, price compression here. When you break these compressions, you see what happens, right? Just explosion in price. And yeah, now, XRP from, I guess even from the breakout is up 60%. And now trading at all time in price discovery, obviously at a big resistance level, right? We can see some chop and pause here. This has been going pretty much straight up, so it makes sense. But this looks like it's going to keep going, right? And start its move into price discovery. So one of the most hated rallies, probably. Not so much anymore, but catching people off guard once again. XRP monster move yesterday, and probably one of the first major, top 10 altcoins trading above its highs, right? In price discovery, other than something like a TRX or something like that, right? But yeah, super strong.
XRP strength, man. I mean, it's something else, honestly. That's I think you were phrasing it very well this morning, Louis, which is that normies are probably not going to be selling at $3 XRP, especially if they just sat through that entire consolidation. And it's never a bad thing for these coins to go up, right? Just because you are seeing a coin potentially vacuum liquidity away from yours in the short term because it's going to go up a lot, doesn't mean that that's bearish for your bags. It actually enhances the wealth effect throughout the broader market. Basically, what I'm saying is respect the pump, even if you don't like XRP. I'm not an XRP fan, but I'm a respecter of pumps.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That definitely wouldn't be aping here into XRP if you did not have the position.
Yeah,
As Louis
Yeah.
said, people love to chase the green candles and then ignore the red ones. This is not the place to be jumping in. It simply is not. What you want to see here is, you need to see like an acceptance above all-time highs, maybe some lower time frame reaccumulation, or wait for the red that Louis has on the chart, but not here, not right now. That's not the place. If you miss this, then just cope with it. Use it as a learning example, but don't FOMO right now.
Yeah, definitely don't do that.
Jackus, what do you think about these other altcoins finally catching a run once kind of these complex pullbacks, we'll call them, are completed on Bitcoin and ETH here?
Very likely the case. Honestly, I think, again, ETH is leading the space here. ETH push is definitely more important to alts than Bitcoin is. Although, it's not like Bitcoin isn't important, because it is. But ETH is definitely needed the most. So, I said this before. Don't be happy that ETH is pumping, because if it was just the beta straight away and without ETH, that would not be good. That wouldn't have a sustainability. What you want to see is ETH leading. The beta will catch when the market decides. But yeah, let it go, and let it go with it. That's the most important thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a very small handful of assets are really suctioning up all the liquidity: XRP, ETH, Doge. But the good news is, those are coins that a lot of normies hold a lot of, more so than Bitcoin. I think that wealth effect is going to spread out a lot more. And what we usually see with Bitcoin, at least, when it is trending, when it finally pulls back, obviously you'll get some pullbacks from the highs on altcoins that are like 10, 20, maybe even 30%. But typically the reversion on those altcoins is when they actually start to outperform.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of similar to, what I've been talking about with Bitcoin, right? Like, in these environments, in this stage of the cycle, if you even want to call it a cycle, I do. You want to see when Bitcoin first got its first pullback after, breaking price discovery. Obviously, you saw that first knee-jerk reaction of alts pull back, right? ETH pull back a little bit. But if you noticed, as Bitcoin continued to chop, range sideways, consolidate what it's doing now, you're noticing that alts aren't waiting for Bitcoin anymore to make a new high, right? Normally what we're used to seeing over the last 2 years is Bitcoin goes up, everything kind of follows. Bitcoin pulls back, consolidates, and alts bleed all the way back to their lows, even making new lows. Instead, what we're seeing is Bitcoin rally, pause, consolidate. And during that consolidation, what we're normally used to seeing alts pulling all the way back and bleeding lower, you're seeing initial reaction off the obviously the initial sell-off, but then taking lead, right? And making new local highs while Bitcoin is chopping and even making local lows. And I think it works very similarly with ETH as well, right? ETH and altcoins. ETH's going to lead, right? Stuff like XRP, these higher caps are going to take some liquidity, right? And act like a vacuum, like Tommy said. But, this thing's going straight up since the 6th, pretty much, right? So what, like 14 days or 12 days of straight up? We're probably due for a pullback. But what we want to look for is when this pullback does happen, maybe we come under here, whatever, and chop and consolidate. During this type of price action for ETH, I still think it's possible for alts to continue to run. Right. Obviously, if you got that initial scary drop, that pullback, alts will drop a little bit. But similar to Bitcoin, as ETH is gathering its footing, consolidating, chopping, you can begin to see that money flow into altcoins, right? So I wouldn't chase altcoins here. I wouldn't chase ETH here. But what I would say, if we do get this pullback on ETH and you see alts drop a little bit, you might want to take that as an opportunity to bid, because they might not wait for ETH either, right? You could see ETH pull back, consolidate, range, trade sideways, and alts begin to continue to go for continuation and head higher, very similar to how we're seeing them react with Bitcoin. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense here for us to see some sort of slowdown or pullback. And if you're chasing, it's not going to be fun for you.
No, not at all. I mean, ETH is up 43% in 12 days. Like that, let's zoom out and on the high time frame. I get everybody wants things to go up straight up in a straight line, but you do have to understand there's going to be rebalancing effects along the way. And that is just a dynamic of the market that we have to accept. And, if you aren't positioned in some of these names that have been super strong off the lows, or things that have, shown a little bit of strength, seeing some form of pullback, waiting, being patient is still, in the cards. You don't need to be FOMOing in, chasing, running after everything right now. We're just not at that point in the market. And truthfully, that occurs more so on chain. If you really want to be super fluid from a rotation, in rotations and how you're, getting in and out of plays and looking to acquire, that's more so tailored towards on-chain trading. These majors, oftentimes you do not want to be, just monkey neuron activation mode, because that's what happens is people chase them on high leverage and they get wiped out and rinsed. Wait for the proper pullbacks, wait for your opportunities, and it'll give you plenty of them. There is going to be a plethora of XRPs here moving forward. There's going to be a plethora of ETH moves here moving forward. So we're just getting started. This is just a piece of the market that oftentimes people have the hardest time accepting, is that, number does not go straight up in a straight line. Tommy, I would love to get your thoughts on Hyperliquid here, and kind of and what we're thinking here moving forward with that whole ecosystem.
Yeah, for sure. I was in the camp that, if ETH was going to be giving you that gap up candle towards 4K, you might be about to see Hyperliquid enter parabola. And I still think you can take some signal from Bitcoin and ETH in the sense that if they don't cool down, if they just keep ripping here over the next few months, then, it's probably the Q4 top thesis is probably a little bit more tangible. It does seem like it's going to take a little bit longer than that to play out. So for Hyperliquid, you could probably come back down into like $38-40 if ETH and Bitcoin really want to slide. But I'm looking at the structure Hyperliquid's putting in kind of above resistance, and it looks very similar to the structure that NVIDIA is trading in right now. Obviously, it's a smaller version of it, but I almost kind of wonder if Hyperliquid's just going to trade with this constant perpetual TWAP on it here over the next year or so, from not just the Hyperliquid Foundation, but everything else. I don't know. It might not give you that parabolic price discovery from here, but I'm not bearish on it either. I kind of feel like it's just going to keep grinding higher, more or less. And if it starts to really pull back more materially, then, we can always look at BNB in its previous cycle for an example, but I don't really know if that makes sense contextually with where ETH and Bitcoin are cyclically. So, we'll just keep an eye on Hyperliquid. One of the reasons I am long not on perps, but on spot, important caveat, is so that I don't have to overcomplicate the timing of the Hyperliquid trade. I don't know when it's going to top. I don't know when it's going to have its best period of gains, but I do know eventually PER is going to run really, really effing hard as the only viable meme coin on Hyperliquid.
Yeah, I agree. The chart looks actually very good. I understand the frustration that some people are maybe having, but if you pull a linear, like the linear log or linear Fibonacci's, excuse me, and log Fibonacci's, they both, the linear 2618 and the log 1618 line up right at 65. That's definitely my high time frame price target. And it's one of those charts that looks just really strong. Like, I mean, sure, Hyperliquid isn't necessarily outperforming to the upside, but it definitely has, in my view, a position in any, long-term portfolio that is more forced through the trees when it comes to expecting outperform or expecting upside. It's one of those, in my opinion, the freest layups in the market is bidding Hyperliquid. And we might not have seen, the best price action over the past few weeks, but it's really a no-brainer here in my eyes moving forward. Continued no-brainer.
I think the question I have is how Bitcoin fits into all of this, ironically. If we're expecting to see Bitcoin dominance cool off and ETH just ranging, do we see Bitcoin potentially just chop between 125 to 100K for the next few months, potentially, while altcoins catch up within their structure? Some will make new highs. One of the things I pointed out on the morning call, for example, was, if we're likening the current market structure of something like ETH to the COVID recovery, AVE ran from like $2 or $3 up to $90 in like over the course of DeFi summer. So some of these assets have plenty of leeway to be able to run, and ETH is almost back. I mean, ETH is at 3,500, 4K. We think about the pricings of some of these altcoins, or at least what they were the last few times that ETH has been trading at these prices. I don't think that should be discounted. Don't forget what altcoins can do, guys. I know they haven't given like huge outperformance yet, but I kind of feel like it's coming.
More specifically, sorry, go ahead, Jackus. Go.
No, I was just gonna say that I think we are getting a first glimpse of that, and it's you asked me how Bitcoin currently moves. I think what's going to happen is that BTC will take a pause here, a breather. Alts will use it again, do some structural pushes to the upside, of course, and obviously, it's. I think in this cycle, it's really not going to be like all alts, but at least all alts that at least have some business staying around this time. But obviously, you kind of want to be picky too, right? But there is just too many so that all would lift. But if we are talking about plenty of stuff in top 200 probably, and so forth, yes. So I tend to think BTC pauses here as it is, go sideways for a few weeks, alts push higher, then it's BTC time again, and maybe alts go with it to the upside for a little longer, but then it's BTC time again, and then BTC pauses probably like much higher at like I actually am not sure where. Like I would be thinking like 1.6. Like looking at the chart, the next logical stop to me would be again like almost even daring to say, but like 180, 200, honestly. But yeah, we'll observe the chart every single day, every single week, go level by level. But I think that's kind of the bias for me to have.
Do you guys want to see something crazy?
Yeah,
absolutely.
See those fractals.
Can you go to the total DeFi chart?
I have.
Oh yes.
Look at total DeFi between 2018 to 2021.
Yeah.
And then, I'm not talking about, this is not meant to bull post DeFi, although, I'm not bearish on DeFi. I want to point this out. You don't have to, you could put it on log if you want.
It's up, I don't know, you tell me.
So we see the two distinct highs followed by the additional cycle. Can you go to the total meme coin chart now?
Like add it.
You don't have to add it. I mean, if you could just go to the chart itself, I think it's going to illustrate it.
Total meme.
Yeah.
Is that
look
meme
at
C?
Look at the last 2 or 3 years of meme C. Yeah.
Meme C, right? Meme.c. There we go.
I see two distinct highs
Ooh.
followed by
boy.
like before we ramp up. What do we think about meme coins being where DeFi was in the summer of 2020?
Well, I think it was following it very well in by end of 24. Then we know everything got halted. This is where the cycle or like this whole cycle slightly differs, and extends time-wise to the right. But I think now it's going to catch up the same way.
Yeah, this threw it for a loop a little bit. It seems like to me, it seemed as if like honestly, if in my opinion, a little tinfoil hat here, but you'd be surprised what goes on in these markets. This honestly probably was supposed the natural real breakout for like this is when ETH was testing 4K, looked like everything was ready to go, right on schedule, right on time. This was likely probably going to be the real move. But in my opinion, this was halted and curbed so big money could, like, they didn't want it to run yet, if I'm being honest. And this was like the breakout. Fuck, we got to pull it back. We're not ready yet. This was the manipulation. And now you get the real move. Just looking at stuff across the board, like everything looked great here. Timing, everything made sense for us to really go here. And it just seemed as if the power at B, whoever, didn't want it to go yet. They needed more time to fill their bags. Now their bags are filled. Now they can let price do what it wanted to do what it wants to do.
You have literally psyoped everyone with that move. Like everyone expected it to go back then. Then you psyoped it to the downside, and now you've psyoped not only the bulls but also the bears, thinking like we've already cycled up and this is a bear market and it needs to keep going down. But you also psyoped the bulls who think now the 4-year cycle is going to top in the next month or so, and it's like nobody knows where we are because everyone's pricing it in prior cycles. And I think this cycle needs to be again, look for the rhymes, but not for the exact same thing. And it needs to be treated separately and as the data goes. And I think the real fun for memes begins when you flip probably that line. I would probably on this chart I would probably draw it as a region rather than a single line.
Yeah,
going from like 80 to 90 bill. But once you flip that, there really is no stopping. Yeah, I would go with like 90. I do not think you need to go that high. Yeah, don't be shy. Go down. Yeah, 90. Yeah.
Whoa! Easy.
Once you flip that, that's meme time. But what I would also love to see is that memes run last, because when memes go, that's always the end. So you are likely, when you will see this chart go to like 500 billion valuation, that's probably the end of it. Or
how much?
Maybe not like the exact end, but you're 500. But at that point, you are coming to the end.
Let me put in a log here.
Yeah, I could see it.
We need to keep in mind, like, again, please, everyone, keep this in mind. Only 7% of world population is in crypto. Only most of that 7% is in Bitcoin, and the rest is wrecked. Basically, what this is saying, almost nobody is position with sized in crypto still. Plus, it's not crypto anymore; it's digital asset space.
Yeah.
Well, if you saw too, Trump the other day talked about, I think it was legalizing or clarifying the regulation in regards to people being able to have crypto in their retirement accounts, which is huge.
Huge.
We know how big that is for passive flows and TradFi. I mean, could you imagine what happens to crypto if, I mean, we get even, like 1/10 of those passive flows? Like,
it's probably going to be limited by percentages. Like,
yeah, fully.
Like, for example, you can only invest 5% of clients' money into crypto, but that is still so huge.
That 5% is massive.
5% of retirement portfolios is like trillions.
And those are recurring.
Yes.
Like a lot of these accounts, these 401ks, they're just people get paid every week and it just automatically gets passively invested. It's reoccurring bid. And that's why you see the S&P and the NASDAQ trade the way they do.
Yeah.
It's just a kind of like an infinite TWAP. Obviously you get pullbacks. Obviously you get bear markets along the way, but over time it's up and to the right. Right. That's huge. And obviously, going back to what you were saying about people underestimating what altcoins can do, which I think people have, right? The last 2 years has really, really psyoped a lot of people and made people forget what altcoins are capable of doing in a percentage gain. But even more specifically, people forgot what these quote unquote Dino or high to mid cap altcoins can do, right? It's like a lot of the culture over the last year or two is low cap memes, right? You got to find the lowest cap. You got to get in early. And that's the only way to get these sizable, crazy returns. And, all the other stuff, all the high to mid cap altcoins, they might do well, but they're not going to do anything crazy. I beg to differ, right? I beg to differ. And I think a lot of people, I feel like I'm seeing it on chain, like especially yesterday and the day before, like I could tell people are selling their low cap shitters to turn around and go chase the high to mid cap altcoin pumps, right? So not only did people forget what altcoins can do, I think people completely did not realize and are underestimating how much these high to mid cap altcoins can go up as well.
This is such a crazy turn of events.
The market is healing. Literally. The market is healing.
Honestly, there's a renewed risk appetite for things on chain. I mean, I think there's like a new yield Ponzi on Arbitrum, for example, that has had a decent bid this week. I thought about buying some. I ended up refraining from doing that, but I think things like that you're going to see catch a bigger bid going forward. Something Jack has pointed out on our call this morning was how TVL on DeFi has been like exploding recently, which always is kind of a precursor for ETH price appreciation and ETH BTC.
The total DeFi total value locked has hit new all-time highs after new all-time highs. And I think, I know I have it in one of my newsletters. If you give me 1 sec, I'll try to look it up, but I think it's like 4.5 billion right now. Right. Give me a few sec here, because I'm not sure in which one it was released. You can talk.
One of the charts I used to use to highlight that concept, Jackus, was if you just look at Curve USD with ETH BTC, it's like there's a direct correlation between yield assets going up and ETH BTC outperformance, which makes perfect sense, right? You have people locking collateral in DeFi. There's not just more leverage to be able to buy ETH, but more leverage to be able to just continue looping all this collateral through DeFi. And that's why we get like the incredible upside convexity on ETH, at least last cycle. It just feeds into itself.
So The crypto total value locked, this is from June 25th, hit a record of 365 billion, which is nearly, for example, in 2021, the all-time highs was 250 billion or something along that way. So we are far above 2021 all-time highs in total value locked, while neither ETH, neither ETH, neither Maker are above their 21 all-time highs, which means to me that the price is barely just catching up on fundamentals right now. By the way, top 5 companies are Tether, Circle, Aave, Lido, and Sky, which is Maker.
You know what else I'll say about these DeFi assets, Jackus, is that things like Maker and God, I hate the coin so much, but Pendle, they give me vibe, or like they're giving off structures that we've seen, I think, from banks coming out of 2008. So like DeFi basically went through its big recession over the last like 6 to 9 months. And maybe people, including myself, I mean, I obviously wanted a little bit more blood in the DeFi space personally, but I think when you see these buybacks, these reclaims, the continued strength above levels and not showing that weakness, I mean, that's hugely bullish for DeFi. But yeah, I want to highlight like Maker and Pendle specifically. They give me vibes of big bank stocks from like 2010, 2011, after they've kind of rebounded a little bit and before they obviously see that huge price appreciation and benefit.
Absolutely. I just checked Pendle because if you remember how bearish on it we were in summer 2024, as it kept crashing down to its current low. But I haven't checked it really since. But looking at it now and where the space is heading, it does remind me a bit of Solana before the final upside.
Which one?
Pendle. So go on, you are on a weekly time frame, and if you're gonna use maybe go out of vlog and then use a secondary chart below this one and add Sol, or maybe you can use them side by side. I think that's going to be better for this type case. And then go for Sol in 2021 and stay on the weekly there. Weekly, Louis.
I don't have enough here at Coinbase. Let me go back.
You still do need to jump on the weekly.
I got you.
Oh, are you talking about spring 2021 Sol?
No, I'm talking about this sort of, probably there. Although the upside here could differ. We have to really see how like things behave forward. But I'm having a hard time seeing it go much deeper than this. Given how everything looks, I think it had a chance to break down, but it held, and probably held for a reason. So let's not hold a bias, and I think this has a decent chance of sending.
That looks good, yeah.
What a plot twist that is.
Man, oh man, oh man. And
That really
you got to think, you got to think, if DeFi is popping off that hard, what is the rest of the sector doing? I mean, if DeFi is, you got to think there's just like massive amounts of liquidity in the space if DeFi is popping off that hard.
I honestly think that, again, DeFi is probably the best product to come out of crypto, because in like the ETH ecosystem, like RWAs is going to be huge inevitably whenever the tech solves it like usably, and then the time is right for it. But like you're gonna use those RWAs to borrow. Like think of how banks are running the West, basically. The whole West, even in Europe. They are just creating money. Most people don't know this. They think that most money is created by central banks. It's actually not. Most of money is created by commercial banks, because when you go there, you basically, that if you like have a credit score, they just type numbers in a computer, and then it's an asset. But what I'm trying to say is that when you'll be able to,
And it's gone.
and yeah,
Sorry. That just I'm sorry for interrupting you, Jack, because I just had to. It's exactly what you just said. It's just like numbers that we can't really understand or see, and
yeah.
sometimes.
What I'm trying to say is that this is going to be simply huge. The landing in on-chain, basically, right? So you'll have obviously you'll have very collateralized protocols, which, for example, ETH is. You'll also have lots of under collateralized protocols, and that's going to lead inevitably in a future problem. Like I do not know if it's going to be 5-10 years from now or maybe longer, but at some point you'll be able to lend so much money and not be collateralized for it, because again, new projects will want to differ themselves. They will want to attract new people, and they'll have to sometimes do it in a dishonest ways, and that's simply going to happen. But what I'm trying to say is it's just simply going to be huge. RWA is connecting that, and then you'll be landing all over on chain, because it's just going to be so simple and global.
I think so, and it checks with my bank thesis as well. I mean, JP Morgan, for example, that chart just looks obscenely bullish to me on a higher time frame.
You've probably read that piece by Arthur.
I haven't.
No?
Was he talking about JPM?
Yes.
How about this?
No way. What did he say?
He basically said there is a risk-free 180% upside for JPM because of the stable coins.
Absolutely agree. JP Morgan will be trading above $600 next year. It's my most schizophrenic market take.
Bank of America.
Because big banks are going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries from the Genius Act and the stablecoin issuance.
It was always the plan, guys. It shouldn't be a surprise. They were going to run this show. They just needed time. But yeah, another one I've been looking at too, Bank of America. Like this is a 10-year price compression here. If this thing breaks to the upside, I mean, yeah, banks are going to run. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, bank
But
stocks.
where will the liquidity come from? I need to know, where will the liquidity come from? I swear I kept getting asked every single higher time frame pullback, where will the liquidity come from? And then there's the next upside.
Well, it's funny because they explicitly said, we're going to benefit, Main Street instead of Wall Street. And here we are 3 months down the line, and liquidity is flowing like a faucet.
Yep. It's a Fugazi. You know what Fugazi is? It's a Wazi. It's a Woozy. It's a fairy tale. It's never landed. It's not fucking real.
Have you guys seen Inglourious Bastards?
Yeah.
Just tell me, Okay, so you know the scene where they're like mimicking the Italian guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gerlami.
There's there's a perfect video of Italian football players on a pitch, and there is like 5 of them each doing the gesture, trying to talk to each other, and it's just so funny, man.
I actually went to school with a bunch of Italian dudes, because anyways, and they're a great time to be around, man. I'll just tell you that they're a lot of fun, and yeah, they're very vocal with their expressions, and their hand gestures and patting you on the shoulder, and it's a good time.
Yeah. Well, hopefully felt a little bit of nostalgia there, guys. But yeah.
Dominique Di Coco. Dominique
Jack,
Di Coco.
I have to know your thoughts on the Litecoin treasury. I have to know.
What is Litecoin done?
You haven't seen? It's been pumping.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, sold off.
There's a Litecoin treasury being raised.
Went from 90 to 100. Wow.
We were asking
What is it
who's gonna buy Litecoin?
Well, did you guys see that liquor company that almost went insolvent, and some shitcoiner bought up 50% of the company, and he's now converting the company into a meme treasury company?
I'll buy that.
It's gonna get so much crazier. God.
It's called LQR. It's a liquor company. It's YHC is the ticker.
I mean,
really
I'll tell you what, it doesn't look horrible.
Is it? It doesn't, but again, there is that fundamental issue. Like there is no need for Litecoin again. So
Yeah.
like you can try to crime it as much. It's going to go up. The thing is, it's going to go up. It's just not going to go up probably more than even Bitcoin. That's the point, So yes, you'll get some. You'll get some very. I think it got hit on Bitfinex and stuff. But
did it? I was say this is fucked up.
But
straight down. They were like, "Oh my god, all-time highs!" Jesus.
But
oh my god.
I think it got hit on major exchanges, by the way. But yeah, again, I'm just not seeing it get bit. I can see the case for Monero. I can see the case for XRP. I can see the case for Tron, for BNB. But just Litecoin doesn't fit there. Just like you wouldn't bid EOS or Dash or stuff like that. And those things have been around.
Dash. Oh god.
Yeah, like those things have been around the same time since Monero, but Monero fits a fundamental role. Litecoin simply doesn't. Again, unless something changes along the way, there is, some changes to the protocol, some fork, who knows, maybe something, but until then, I don't think even announcements of the treasury changes much.
I was just going to say, I think one of the most bullish things about these treasury companies is that they're kind of able to bend reality a little bit, in the sense that, we're buying Litecoin. We're not going to tell you what we're going to do with it. We're not going to even tell you what the catalysts are for Litecoin, but we're going to be buying, and we're going to be pushing the price up. And I think that kind of has like this. It's clearly had this already reflexive impact on ETH and Bitcoin treasury companies, where more of them start to spawn. So I think for that reason, like maybe you see a Litecoin bid, but I'm with you, Jackus. I'm skeptical on outperformance. LTC BTC is still needing quite a bit of work. I don't think the setup is quite as good as XRP BTC was from 2023 and 2024, but I do think it's worth keeping an eye on here, maybe over the next few weeks.
Can you, Louis, put on EOS BTC chart?
You love using that as the example.
It is the perfect example because no, you do not. You burgers, man. Just type EOS BTC. It's a tradable pair on Binance.
Yes,
EOS
looks ready to rip.
no, type EOS BTC.
Oh, it's USDT. Fuck.
Yeah. Or it's not even a tradable pair anymore. It used to be. They had to delist it recently. Wow. Wow. They
Nobody
truly
trades
had.
it anymore except for you, Jackus.
That's such a shame because it's truly a perfect case example. And this was at one point in 2017. It was the coin with, I think, largest. No, they had the largest IPO. Largest IPO, I think they had. And it just shows you, well, not everyone's going to make it, first, and second, that it can just perma-bleed. Like there's been people saying, yo, like for example, in 2021, they could have come with like, strategic reserve for their announcement. And you know what? It's just going to cause a little pump, which is not even going to be bigger than, other stuff. I think even Litecoin probably outperformed that. And then again, it's going to be like this. So
it's like Bowden chart.
The Bowden chart.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wonder
What's
what
that trading
looks
at?
Monero
Yeah.
BTC. Listen, there are only few alts that's been outperforming Bitcoin. One of those is Monero. The other is ETH. The other is Doge. The other is, well, sort of XRP, but it's been kind of sideways. Not that many, of course.
Jesus. Bowden.
I still don't hate the Litecoin chart.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
it's
it hurt me
it's
more.
gonna pop. I just don't. Yeah, I'd rather just hold XRP, right? Like
Here we
XRP
go.
will highly outperform.
I just think that the Litecoin chart does look increasingly like the XRP chart. That to me is like the bull case.
It does. But again, put on EOS USD.
I'm not doing it again. Oh, USD.
Jack, I
USD.
believe.
Put on
EOS,
BTC
USD.
SV.
BTC SV.
No. EOS USD. And I want longer term chart. EOS USD. You can do so you can use the EOS USD and then use the crypto, the fourth one. The four.
That's it. 2017.
There's a better one, but no. Yeah, yeah, it's a good one. It's an logo, right?
Yes.
I'm not sure why there are the gaps in price. There was
weird.
Never mind. It's just guys in the comments. This is just US guys, it's a little different, so I just can't. But all right, put the plus function. No. Like add another chart down below. When there is the plus function. No, on left. Like next to EOS USD, there is a plus, yes, and type Monero like XMR USD. No, go type USD after it, and then find the crypto chart and put it in a new pane. Right? Maybe use candles, but that's all right. You do not need to use the
Yeah,
candle candle
time's
chart
sake,
down there.
but-
I won't bother you no more. But what I'm trying to say is that these are relatively similar charts, but one is going to keep going up. You can even see it made new all-time highs in 21, while EOS hasn't, and you can see a clear different type of accumulation during this whole cycle and the upside. EOS is not going to follow. They are the same charts. EOS might have a fake pump, but it's never coming back. And they are relatively similar charts versus Monero is very likely to break to new highs, to quarter digits and into price discovery. So that leads me back to Litecoin. Again, it can have a great chart, but it needs to have a catalyst for it. And I don't think that just because a treasury or something is going to be announced, I don't think that's enough to make it go. Because again, Bitcoin is basically infinitely divisible, pretty much. You do not need Litecoin at its current form.
You probably don't need Ripple, but there's a bid. I don't know. I'm just saying. I'm gonna watch the chart. It could end up looking like XRP. I doubt it, but I'm keeping an eye. If we look back in like a month to 2 months and it's pumped,
Ooh.
I'm not gonna be at all surprised. But I do think you're gonna get better multiples from meme coins. Maybe not ETH and BTC in the immediate term, because they've kind of already given you like that huge outperformance. But yeah, I don't know. I'm keeping an eye on it, Jackus. Maybe I'm gonna let this chart hurt me again. But
This does look exactly like XRP before it went to all-time highs last year.
I don't disagree.
But like Jack has said, context is key. So
It
we'll
it
see.
hasn't done anything in its prior halving either.
Yeah.
Litecoin. So again, don't misunderstand me. Like I've been around in the Litecoin days, in its glory days, and there is like you want to love Litecoin. Like naturally, you can hate XRP, but you are going to love Litecoin. But unfortunately, there is no use for LTC.
no, I mean you saying that out loud just made me laugh. Like I don't like XRP, but here I am thinking about betting on Litecoin.
Yeah.
Too good. We do have a super chat. Shout out to Joe. We appreciate your support as always, guys. What is a better hold, Pepe or Coinbase stock? Not sure which one.
I think you answered with the last word. If you want to YOLO, then just go for Pepe, man.
I mean, you had Pepe sitting well below its all-time high, while Coinbase has been pumping and is at its all-time high already. So in that stance right now, I would say Pepe, right? Like Coinbase kind of had to move. I think it's going to go higher, right? We talked about this in the Discord this morning. We were buying Coinbase stock down in here. Congrats to the Discord. We're getting some nice gains, but
congrats to Louis.
Pepe is right here, in my opinion. Right? Like the amount of altcoin charts we looked at, and again, similar to what I was talking about, right? Like this was the time where it looked like everything was going to go, right? A lot of altcoins did this and looked like it was time, but then they pulled it back and they kind of curtailed the breakout by like 6 months, right? And a lot of altcoins are now, after doing this, starting to perk back up and are like here, right? So in my eyes, Pepe's here before this move back to all-time highs, and Coinbase is already here, right? So I wouldn't be in the business of chasing Coinbase, even though high time frame over the next 3 to 6 months, I think we come onto here. But Pepe being here can start doing this move, and Coinbase stock can do this for like a month, right, before going, right? So in that stance, I'd say Pepe, right? But
no, he's looking
plus,
to YOLO. That means all in.
If you're looking for return on investment, then Pepe hasn't given you the FOMO leg that Coinbase already has.
Yeah.
I think when it boils down to it, it's kind of that simple. I don't think Pepe is, it's lagging per se, but I almost feel like people are using time windows that are too small.
Yeah.
We just had ETH break out. People expect, I think, Pepe immediately to like 5 to 10x, but there's typically a bit of a lag time. And I think when we talk about ETH pulling back and altcoins that are really going to benefit from that resulting bounce, Pepe is the top of the list.
They absolutely do, Tommy. It's like people watching the global M2 liquidity index and they think it has to follow every single day. Like they think there is a daily correlation. It's just stupid, man.
It's like the people fudding per because ETH has been ripping. It's like, why isn't my Hyperliquid beta ripping?
like you have Coinbase up here. Coinbase is up here right now, if we're comparing the charts. You have Pepe down here. Now, you can't always do this with every example, because if something's strong, it's probably going to continue to be strong, right? And if you're looking, okay, this is strong, I want to get something to play a catch up, and this could ultimately remain weak. But Pepe specifically, probably going to do great things, right? So context is key with this comparison. When I'm saying Coinbase is here, Pepe is down here, I'd rather buy Pepe. It makes sense to me, right? That Pepe is here, right? And then Coinbase did this from here and came all the way up here, while Coinbase is already up here. So
we did get another super chat. I'm not sure what the market cap is, if we can talk about it.
No, we're not looking at that. No, we're not looking at that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, no, we can't look at that. I'm sorry, man.
For several, one, because it's a small market cap, but two, it's also haram.
It's
by the way, what market cap bar do we have? Is it 50 mil?
I mean, it's lower than that, but it's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close to,
yeah.
It's like sub 1 mil.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we can't look at it, man.
It's sort of like someone puts in $100 and then donates $5 to look at it on chart, so that his $100 can go up to $200 so that he can.
Yeah.
Maybe when it's more liquid, we'll look at it. I'm sorry, we're not trying to ignore your super chat. If you have another question for us and you're still in the chat, you did send us a super chat, we will honor that and look at that question. But we can't look at that coin. I'm sorry.
Manish keeps asking too. I prefer not to answer this question, but if you want to, I just wouldn't want to ignore him. But at the same time, I'll be honest, Manish. I know you're around and you're great, and we appreciate you coming. But at the same time, this is not a good question to ask, to say it lightly.
Yeah, you shouldn't be all in on one thing.
Unless you want to like joke around in that sense. In that sense, what would you guys say?
It depends on your portfolio size, I would say. A lot on your portfolio size.
Yeah, no. Now you're coming to like that, logical answer. Because, like, again, you cannot answer this question. It's like, like go for it, because again, you cannot give the type of answer if you do not know the background of the person, you do not know his position size, you do not know his risk appetite, and so forth. Simply this question cannot be answered with logic. So unless and again, like you don't ever go all in on one thing. Like you don't do that. So the only way to like answer this question have to be with fun, and like do like go all in on Andy or something.
Yeah, I like my AI dog coin, but I would definitely not recommend putting your whole portfolio into it.
All in into Litecoin. All in into Litecoin. Oh, it's all good, Manish. I know you're around for a while, so I wasn't sure if you were joking with the question or if it was serious. We never know. So.
If your portfolio size is low 6 figs, I definitely don't think you should be all in one, because it's crypto, for God's sakes. Like, the odds that something bad could happen are exponentially higher than any other asset class in the world. I mean, I agree with Arthur, though. If you're talking about like trad, JPM is, in my opinion, the easiest 100% trade over the next probably 12 to 18 months that you can find. I firmly believe this is about to enter parabola. Maybe closer to Q4 for the parabola part, but to me, it's like a carbon replica of Bitcoin price action from 2017 and 2018. I cannot be bearish on JPM. It's going to go a lot higher.
It will, unfortunately, and I say this as someone who don't like JPM. Sorry, Jamie Dimon, but I gotta be objective. It will.
Good coin. It's not a coin, but I know Jamie Dimon would hate if I called JPM stock a coin, so I felt obligated to do so.
Yeah, this looks like the last portion.
Don't worry, Tommy. He's not gonna hire you anyway.
That's true. No, that's very real.
None of us. We are the crypto degens, so.
I mean, you never know what people are. If crypto really explodes to the degree that we think it can here over the next few years, you never know what people are going to end up finessing themselves into, like at banks and things like that. Who knows?
Indeed.
Well, eventually, you need experts in crypto, right? Like, or people that know more than them.
That's what I'm saying. I think you could see something like that. Maybe closer towards the end for like meme coins, because I feel like stable coins and DeFi, they'll figure out relatively quickly. But yeah, I think the additional parts, you might get some really funny specified roles at institutions for things like these. I really think this is kind of like, these treasury companies are probably your big innovation of the cycle, and you can make whatever do you want about what that implies for financial markets, for crypto. But it's clear, not just by the fact that Bitcoin treasuries have had so much success, but that you're seeing so much appetite for ETH treasuries, for Litecoin treasuries. Wait until they cut rates. And you can borrow money exponentially cheaper than you can right now. And you can use that debt to finance even more treasury purchases. I know for a long time, everybody was like, where's the money going to come from? Clearly, there is a lot more sideline capital than we even realize.
I mean, yes, there is the money market funds, like the amount of money sitting over there, like that's insane.
Yeah, eventually they're going to FOMO, especially when rates start coming down and rates start coming down, they can't get as much yield on their money safely. And if equities continue to churn higher, they're going to be forced to enter the market.
Forced to FOMO and buy our bags. I like it.
Yep.
And then, I mean, this is, I was talking about this either on Monday or last Friday. Good Alexander has talked about this. The difference is going to be that a lot of the value accrual is going to happen on chain, and people will sell their crypto to rebase back into fiat, which is actively being depreciated. And there's going to be a significant amount of money that just stays on chain because it's actively accruing value. And I definitely can't explain his thesis as well as he can, but I know AI is going to play a part of that too. It's fascinating to me, but yeah.
I'll pull Max and I'll say I never understand this feminine urge of trying to book profits into fiat. I honestly don't, because everyone who ever booked profits into fiat in the last years is asking himself this question. All right, that's amazing, but what do I do with it now? Right? So you can do it for like half a year, but you're not gonna hold much in fiat for like 2+ years. You can book profits, but you're gonna directly rebalance it into even if you were to buy real estate or fucking gold or something. But
cash is trash.
Who is going to book profits into fiat?
That just goes back to something that I said a really long time ago. Crypto's best utility, its primary function going forward, is that it is a non-sovereign storage of value. That doesn't even mean that you have to view it like gold, but it's money outside the system that is accruing value, and your fiat is not.
That's always been that way for Bitcoin. Yeah. Question: Do you think ETH will ever take that role? I just think I do you?
It's wild as like gold, I think it'll be a more spendable version of gold. So I guess currency in kind of its truest sense, more or less. I think that's an interesting question that I don't think I can answer just yet.
That is totally fine. You do not.
It could just become like Mr. Robot eCoin, which is like the government ends up backing ETH in a way that they won't back Bitcoin because its origins are maybe a little bit different.
What is that quote, Louis?
What's with this? What the hell did I do to you?
It's like good vibes the entire show, and then somebody just comes in and just like, I hate Louis.
Who is Louis?
I don't know who Louis is. I don't know. But that's fine. That's fine.
Oh
people in the Discord know it's good. They know it's
there
good.
Is always like someone randomly coming and just hating on one of us.
Yeah, it's understandable. I get it, right? Like looking at me, right, and like how I talk, I don't sound the most intelligent. I don't look the most intelligent, and maybe I'm not the most intelligent, but hey, man, I just like to buy things low and sell them high. You don't have to be overly intelligent to be in this game. And if anything, I'd argue the smartest people, like your economists and all that, like they're not the ones that make the big money. They're not. So
never go full.
I like being an
Luis,
underdog.
Mr. Louis, I like even more buying high and selling way higher.
Never go full economist.
Thank you.
I want to tackle that.
I'm a married man, so I would say no, I'm not.
Yeah, I'm just like, who takes a $10 to make that comment?
I think he's just messing with you, but
Yeah, no,
I
it's
think
cool.
so.
It's cool. It could be the goatee too, but guess what? This, I grew this for my son's birthday party. We had a pirate themed party, but the second I started growing out the goatee, we've been rallying. So
I like the goatee. No homo.
thank you. I just
no
can't bring
shaving until
myself
the
to
top.
shave it. It's the rally goatee.
No shaving
Yes.
until the top.
Yeah, literally, I might be stuck with this thing for a while.
Plus, as you said, your wife likes you this way more, right? So
that's another factor, right?
It's a win-win-win. Everyone's winning.
The missus is into it, right? The missus is into it. So, I like this comment.
Yeah.
Let's bet on this.
Let's fucking bet on this shit.
That's so funny. Oh man.
That's probably a good spot for us to wrap up the show and wrap up the week. The week that was.
Jesus, it's Friday.
It is Friday, and it's been a crazy week with a lot of awesome price action from ETH. Altcoins, we have to imagine, are not going to be horribly far behind.
Tommy,
we'll see.
I think, sorry to interrupt you. I think we will wake up tomorrow and be like, shit, it's 2026. Literally tomorrow.
Bull market.
That's what it feels like.
That's what it will feel like. Yeah. Like we'll be like, Jesus, 26. Wow.
Well, yesterday
we were discussing ETH breaking 4K.
I saw a great comment about why time feels like it's flying by so much faster. It's basically kind of like this idea that when you take into account all the time that's happened in human history, right? Like by human, there have been exponentially more humans closer to the present date. Therefore, memories are going to be much more like tethered towards recency. And so time, as a result of that, feels a lot more compressed now than it did, just because so many humans have only known like recent history. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, time is relative too.
But someone definitely in the comments was like, what the fuck did he just talk about?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I didn't say granular today. I was so close to saying it in my intro. And it's like one of those words where I'm like, it's a crutch. It's so easy for me to say in my intros.
Everyone has true. One of those.
Yeah. What am I waffling about? All right. That is definitely a good spot for us to wrap up the show, though. We hope that you guys enjoyed it. It was a very busy week, obviously. I can't imagine that the next few weeks are going to be that different. So we'll see what we get. But excited to see kind of how everything shakes out here in the near term and the long term. Intimate thoughts too. Yeah, that's another one. Y'all have a great rest of your weekend. Market Check will be back for another episode next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We typically go live at our usual start time around 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard. Also, make sure to check out our other programming, starting with Market Talk, hosted by King Wabi. That is in X Spaces, hosted through the Because Bitcoin account. And that is live every day except for Thursday, on weekdays, of course. So make sure to tune in for his show as well. Wabi's been crushing it, and he's also been going live on Twitch a lot recently, so make sure to follow him on X. And then lastly, definitely make it word vomit. Sorry. Definitely don't miss Ape Time next week on Thursdays. We are really enjoying doing those shows. And we just live trade, high leverage. We commentate on the market. We talk about our past trades, experiences. It's a different feel from Market Check, but I think it's entertaining in its own way as well. So make sure to tune in for that as well. Thanks for tuning in, though, guys. We'll be back on Monday, like I said. I'm going to run a quick commercial here for the BB terminal before we officially depart. But make sure to check that out, especially with, I think on-chain is about to really start heating up. We have our brand new DGen page on BB terminal. It kicks ass. I would absolutely be checking that out right now before on-chain heats up. If you are looking for tools to help you conquer those markets, we've got them. So thanks again, guys. Have a great rest of your weekend. And of course, as always, stay safe.
Tired of outdated trading tools, confused charts, dozens of tabs, endless stress? You're not alone. Introducing BB Terminal, your all-in-one command center for crypto trading. Track your portfolio, monitor the markets, stay ahead, all in one place. From chaos to clarity, from struggle to success. BB Terminal,